So, thank you for joining us for this webcast on Out with the Gold and In with Young Professionals. Today's webinar is given by Timothy Wong, the Chairperson of the Global MGA Young Professionals Committee. So I'd like to welcome you to the first Google Hangouts webinar of 2014. My name is Mario Milicevic and I'll be your host today. I'm the current Vice Chair of Products and Services for the MGA Young Professionals Committee, and I'm also involved as the Chair of the Toronto Young Professionals Affinity Group. So the IEEE Young Professionals will be hosting monthly webinars in 2014 on various topics such as effective communication, leadership, and many more. Again, today's webinar is brought to you by our speaker, Timothy Wong, who is the chairperson of the MGA Young Professionals Committee. Timothy resides in Perth, Western Australia, and is currently working towards a Master's of Finance. He has a double degree in electrical engineering and computer science from the University of Western Australia. So it focuses on the rebranding of IEEE's Early Career Professional Development Group from, or which was formerly known as IEEE Graduates of the Last Decade, Gold, to IEEE Young Professionals. So, Timothy, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mario, and thank you everyone for attending and joining this webinar. It's a pleasure to be here today, and wherever you are in the world, I'm very happy to be in a position where I can tell you about our transition in the Gold to Young Professionals group. Okay, so my name is Timothy Wong. I am the chairperson of the MGA Young Professionals group, which looks after the global operations and strategy for this committee. Okay, so today I'll be giving a quick overview as to what we do in the Young Professionals Committee at the MGA level. Then we'll move on and talk about the Gold to Young Professionals transition and explain the rationale behind the decisions that we made and what sort of activities we will be pursuing leading up to the go live date. There will also be guidelines on how to use the new Young Professionals branding, and we'll also have a look at case studies. So we've got a number of case studies to talk about in this presentation. And then lastly, we'll point you to resources and where you can find out more about the Young Professionals brand. So the MGA Young Professionals Committee, as I mentioned before, is responsible for the global IEEE Young Professionals day-to-day operations and strategy, ranging from short to long term. And some of you may have heard about some of the major changes that are being made to the Young Professionals brand, which was formerly known as Gold. Now, Gold stood for Graduates of the Last Decade, and we'll explain later in this presentation why we no longer use that word to describe this group. But beyond that, it's not just a name change. We're also investigating new products and services and developing new products and services to meet the continuing changing needs of our members. And we hope what this will result in is improved member engagement and satisfaction. Now, the go live date for all of these changes is the 15th of August 2014, which is in time for the new IEEE membership year cycle. However, what we need to start doing now and have been doing is preparing the groundwork so we are already prepared for the go live date in mid-August. So let me talk a bit about the committee structure. So that we have one chairperson, we have the past chair, we also have committee members from MELCC, which is the Member Engagement and Lifecycle Committee partners that also assist us, and it's a committee we report to. And MELCC reports to the Member and Geographic Activities Board, which in a nutshell deals with anything member related, including day-to-day operations and strategy. We also have 10 regional young professional coordinators, so all of the 10 IEEE geographic regions have representation for young professionals, and of course we have over 170 Young Professional Affinity Group chairs. And if anyone is interested in forming a new Young Professionals Affinity Group in the section, then please feel free to get in contact with us. We will leave our contact details on our last slide. We also have the IEEE USA Board representative, a Young Professionals representative that is, We also have representatives from the Technical Activities Board and Liaisons, MGA, the societies, publications. We also have Gold Rush. We have the Gold Rush Editor-in-Chief that resides in the committee. Now, Gold Rush is a young professionals blog that informs members of any news related to young professional events, IEEE Young Professional events, and any relevant announcements to our members. We also, lastly but not least, have a liaison position that bridges the gap between our Student Activities Committee and young professionals. We also, in IEEE Young Professionals, we operate in 4 different focus areas. And what I forgot to mention in the last slide is that we have 4 vice chairs. So in communications and marketing, we have Jashil, and in his role, the communications and marketing vice chair focuses on market development. And you know, market development is not just about advertising. There is also a lot of work that goes into analyzing and interpreting membership data and actually using that data to drive actions in our strategy to meet the needs of our members. Now, leadership and training is taken care of by Tim Warboys, and as the name implies, this role focuses on volunteer development, making sure that our volunteer leaders are well equipped and supported to understand their roles and how they fit into providing membership benefits and value to our young professional members. Mario Milicevic, who you heard introduce this webinar, looks after the products and services portfolio. And this portfolio really focuses on member satisfaction. So in addition to providing the young professionals' perspective as part of the design, development, and evaluation of products, Mario and his team are working on developing new opportunities and products for our members. And last but not least, strategic partnerships is looked after by Robert Weiss, and it focuses on partner development. So this role fosters internal and external collaboration and relationship building between IEEE societies, but also outside of IEEE with other similar professional organizations and industry. So what happened, or what happens routinely, is the member and geographic activity staff conduct a membership survey, and from that data, we have these 5 different segments that classify the types of IEEE members that are higher grade. So 2 segments are highlighted in this slide because they are the most relevant to young professionals. Segment 2, as I mentioned before, is mostly comprised of young professional members. They're well connected to IEEE's vision and want to be more involved. And for them, career services, networking, and continuing education are very important, and they use social media. So this group is fairly engaged. Now, segment 4 is a group that we could certainly be focusing to improve satisfaction. So again, it refers to a group that is comprised of younger members. They want to be more involved. They don't know how. They don't feel that they're part of the IEEE family and feel invited to experience more of IEEE. They feel the products are difficult to navigate and use, and this is one of the segments which experiences the lowest satisfaction. So really what this segmentation survey chart provides is some context as to what sort of members we're serving and what sort of potential issues we're trying to tackle with member satisfaction. So let's move on to what's actually happened so far in IEEE Young Professionals and its transition away from Gold. So many of you may have noticed from our website that Gold has changed its name to IEEE Young Professionals. The IEEE Board of Directors has issued a formal directive for all organizational units to review and update their governing documents to reflect the new Young Professionals name. And lastly here, the MGA, so the Member and Geographic Activities Board, approved new criteria. So the criteria being how we classify what a young professional member is. So what has happened is the scope has changed from the first 10 years from a member's first degree, which was the definition of a gold member, now to the first 15 years from a member's first degree, with an option to participate beyond this 15-year time span should they require it. So what I'm going to explain in the next few slides are the reasons why we made these decisions. So it turns out that IEEE Gold wasn't instantly recognized as a young professionals group. It wasn't a name that resonates with the early career professionals or young professionals demographic. And the running joke is that gold contains the name old, and it certainly managed to mislead a few members into believing it was something other than the young professionals group. So we decided to benchmark against similar organizations that adopt the name Young Professionals, and we found that they've been relatively successful without any serious issues. So by changing our name to Young Professionals, we believe that it will make it easier for young professionals and early career professionals to find information and benefits relevant to them in the IEEE. And if they can find these information, find the information on products and services, then they'll be able to then engage with it and use it. And we hope from that this increased awareness will result in increased use and engagement with our products and services. And so with greater engagement, if the products are relevant, if members feel that they're getting value, we hope that they will retain their membership and renew. And this last point is a bit of a technicality, but with the way the back-end IT system was set up under the gold name and the way it's now being changed, we will get more reliable reporting of statistics relating to the young professionals demographic and membership, which will really help with our decision making. Now, so in the last slide I talked about the name change. Let's now talk about the criteria and the considerations we made when deciding what to implement. So we decided not to go by age. So age is a topic that is sensitive transculturally. It doesn't necessarily correlate with early career needs, and it's actually not a required field in the member record database. So you don't have to put in your date of birth. And so if you're going to implement an age criteria, then you're going to run into problems with implementing and sorting out young professional members who choose not to put in their date of birth. Now, the universal indicator on the member record, which flags whether they are a young professional member or not, is going to be altered to give control, so the member has control over whether they want to affiliate with young professionals or not. So the idea is that young professional membership will be as simple as adding a society or, for example, women in engineering membership into a shopping cart, and if you don't want it, you can remove it. This is an improvement over what happened under Gold. With the Gold implementation of membership indicators, the member had no control. If it was wrong, it couldn't really be easily fixed. Okay, so once the member is affiliated with young professionals, they may also be considered for positions. So we're talking about volunteer positions here. Now, organizing units which recruit for these volunteer roles will still maintain control with regard to volunteer service, and the decision-making process, so the nominations and appointments process, will still remain independent and sit with the respective organizational unit. Now, this timeline really just gives you a rough overview of some of the activities that are happening in IEEE corporate and within the volunteers, leading up to the young professionals name change and criteria change. So, so we have four main streams: governance, branding, classification, and communications. And really, we've now passed May, we're now in June, and what we're really aiming for here is on the governance side, we're finalizing membership development materials, operation manuals, and distributing them. So this is in between now and August 15th. With the branding, we've designed new marketing materials. We are developing a campaign, and we've made a few appearances in the Institute newsletter And there has been a Young Professionals advert placed in IEEE Potentials. And in addition to that, we're outreaching through social media channels and our website. So really, this is all leading up to our launch of the new Young Professionals brand at Sections Congress 2014. That's what the SC stands for, Sections Congress. And so that's really due to take place by 15th of August. And then likewise with the classification criteria and the communication side, increasing member awareness, we're really going to be moving towards launching member and public announcements. So you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with me? What am I supposed to do? Well, let's firstly start by showing you the new logo. Here it is. If you want more information on what it signifies, you can actually find it on the URL that we'll post in a later slide. Visit www.ieee.org/YP, and on the right-hand side of the website, you can actually access what's called the YP Branding Toolkit, which contains different logo files in image format, and you can also access information on what the logo signifies and the explanation behind the design. Now, in terms of using the logo, I think it's important to remember that we are one IEEE, one organization, and our goal is to be consistent and unified. We need to have a unified front to our members. So given that our logo is right next to the IEEE master brand logo, such as the one you see on the bottom right of the slide, we ask that you don't modify or recreate the logo artwork. Always use the correct colors and fonts. And sometimes documents can get busy with a lot of text or other pictures. We would ask that you try and keep a clear space around the logo. And if ever in doubt, just feel free to ask us. We will leave our contact details on the last slide. Now, this brand has already been launched in a few affinity groups, and I wanted to quickly talk about some case studies and some of the results achieved with the new Young Professionals brand. So beginning with the Toronto Young Professionals Affinity Group, they organized the first industry mixer on November 27th last year. This was really one of the first test cases of the new Young Professionals branding. And so they tried this out by making the event open to everyone and not just IEEE members. This event provides great opportunities for like-minded IEEE members and non-members to network and find out more about the IEEE, but also to make those connections with like-minded professionals. And the turnout was staggering. Over 200 attendees participated in this event, and subsequently 2 similar industry mixer events organized by the Toronto Young Professionals Group attracted a similar great turnout. Now, with New Zealand North, they reported to us that the attendance at their social and networking dinner doubled when they started using the new Young Professionals name and logo, and they also started charging a fee for the dinner, compared to previously when they were using the gold name. The attendance was half the size, despite the dinner being free. So the signs are certainly very promising. Now, SXSW stands for South by Southwest, and that took place in Austin in March this year. So the Central Texas Young Professionals Affinity Group took the initiative to organize a Young Professionals mixer while South by Southwest was occurring. They organized it at a nearby venue, namely the Hampton Inn, located in Austin, Texas. Now, for those that are not aware, the South by Southwest Festival is one of the world's largest film, interactive, and music festivals and conference that, as I mentioned before, took place in March this year. So this Young Professionals Mixer event held at the Hampton Inn attracted over 100 attendees, and about half of them are IEEE members. During this event, there were 2 IEEE-sponsored keynotes. So Glenn Zorpet, the executive editor for IEEE Spectrum, and Dr. Robin Murphy, an expert in search and rescue drones, were the 2 keynote speakers. Now, at the Global Humanitarian Congress, or conference rather, that's what GHTC stands for, the Santa Clara Valley Young Professionals and Affinity Group collaborated with each other to organize a Young Professionals and Women in Engineering Reception. And they took this opportunity to launch and create awareness of the new Young Professionals logo. As you can see on the cake here in the picture, this event was very well attended and was actually run as part of the Global Humanitarian Technology Conference. So really, the signs are promising. We would really love to hear more success stories, and definitely feel free to share it with us through the email link that we provide at the end of the presentation, or through Gold Rush, our Young Professionals blog. So let's firstly take care of our online presence. So I've no doubt that many of you, if you're running a society page or affinity group, that you would have some sort of social media outreach, such as Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. So firstly, we would like to ask that you stop referring to gold. We've certainly stopped it at the Young Professionals Global Committee level, and it may take a bit of adjustment because a lot of people are used to the name gold, and it's a habit. But the more you start using Young Professionals, the more familiar and routine it will become. So we would ask that you update your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter pages, and post about the news relating to the name and criteria change. Use the new logo wherever you can, and update your web pages. So change the URL so it doesn't state gold anymore. It actually refers to Young Professionals or YP. So if you visit IEEE.org and try to access the gold page, you'll notice that the URL actually now reflects the new YP name. And it's also a good idea to set the old URL to forward to the new location for at least 6 months, in case you have visitors that remember the old URL. We would still like them to be relocated to the new Young Professionals page. Okay. You can also help, depending on who's listening to this call, certainly help your organizational unit understand the change, and we can provide assistance on that. Change your organizing documents if you're affected, and we do have a few societies that do refer to gold in their operations manual. You can find the growing, so a work in progress Young Professional Development Toolkit at IEEE.org/YP, as previously mentioned. We do have a global YP or Young Professionals Facebook and LinkedIn group, and a LinkedIn company page. So definitely feel free to like our page and follow us so you can keep up to date with the latest developments, not only in the name change and criteria change, but also with the new products that we're looking at rolling out. Tell your colleagues about our Young Professionals community, and definitely feel free to be proactive, host an event, use video, give us feedback on what's working and what's not, because we'd really love to help, and if need be, we'll make the necessary changes to make it work. And also worth noting is that we currently have 64,000 young professional members at this stage. Now, once we introduce and broaden the criteria to from 10 to 15 years from your first professional degree, this is expected to roughly double in August. And lastly, if you have any questions, if you need any more support, feel free to contact us at young-professionals@IEEE.org, or you can visit our URL, our webpage at www.young-professionals.IEEE.org, or if that's too long to remember, www.IEEE.org/YP. Thank you very much for your attention, and we look forward to working with you to making Young Professionals a better place for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Timothy, for your wonderful presentation, and I'd like to thank everybody for watching this webinar. So I'd just like to point out that we do offer other career-based services for young professionals, which include Mentor Center, which is an online mentoring tool, which allows you to connect with, allows mentors and mentees to sign up and connect. And there's also the IEEE Resume Lab, which is a new product that helps, or a new online tool suite to help you improve your resume and cover letters. So if you do have any suggestions for future products and services that would be of interest to young professionals, please do email us at the email provided. or check us out on the web at IEEE.org/YP. Again, I'd like to thank you all for watching and hope you have a great day.